What the heck is that?
It's one netbook, OneXPlayer X1 Pro.
It sounds like a gaming device, okay?
Well, yeah, you're right, it is.
Well, what the heck's it doing here then?
Well, to review, of course.
We don't do gaming stuff, all right? So why don't you shove this where the sun don't shine?
Well, why don't you shove your words back in your mouth and figure something out, huh?
Well, why do I have to figure something out, huh? Did I say I want to do this? Did I? Did I say, yes, please, send some gaming stuff over so I can review this on my channel? No, didn't think so.
Well, why don't you open up the boxes, do something creative, do your creative thing with it, and voila, Bob's your uncle, eh?
I guess we could, couldn't we?
Well, how we then?
All right then.
Oh. Hey, what? Wait. Scary news, big news, and you need to act now.
Okay.
Take a breath. Breathe. It's Windows 10.
What about it?
Well, it's ending, and your device might be at risk, and you gotta act now.
Well, good job. I am running Windows 11 then, eh?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's good. Ryzen Pro, I can see. Yeah, that's very good. Good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 1 sec. AMD sent me to tell them about the Ryzen Pro Loaner program that they're running, and they can go check out any of the Ryzen Pro laptops for free. Check them out if you want to, for free. I've already made a video about the Windows 10 and Ryzen Pro that they can check out in the video description already. Okay. Well, carry on then. Links below.
I want to start with the biggest box. Gaming computer for hardcore gamers. Oh, please. Oh, 2024 model. So it's pretty new. Instructions. Pretty straightforward. Whoa. That's pretty big. Okay, there's a magnetic cover. Okay, so it's kind of like a big tablet. In here we have an Oculink port and a mic and headphone combo jack, some fans, turbo, plus and minus, power button on that side. On this side we have Ryzen AI 9HX. So interestingly, this, I have seen loads of devices now with this actual CPU. So this is the same one that we had on the Asus ProArt P16, for example, the one that we had on the Minis Forum X1 AI mini PC. We've seen some other mini PCs with this. This seems to be pretty interesting. It's Hardman Audio EFX, so not common. Well, I've never heard that one before. So there's a little fan on this side, I think, for cooling. I don't know if it pulls it into that side or some kind of heat dissipation in there. That's the fan grill intake and then exhausts from there. Then on the left side, 2 charging ports and then power pins on this side, and then micro SD card slot for extra storage, USB port, and also power pins. Then on the bottom we have also some power pins, and let's take a look what else. Okay, so this goes in the back like that so the fan can still breathe. Interestingly, when you put this on the back, this gets covered, so I'm not sure, maybe this is a speaker. Let's take a look what the charger is like. Okay, this is a 100-watt USB-C charger, which is pretty interesting, and then obviously the USB-C cable. Then what's in these other boxes? What the heck is that? A charger, maybe? Handheld connector. And I bet in here we have then the joysticks. Yeah, so basically with this now, you can add them on both sides, and then you kind of have a controller We won't be using that. So there is actually a receiver for that underneath here, which is pretty cool. But, oh, now I see. Look, if you take these off from this middle charger bit, which seems like you might have to buy separately, I see that these now fit on the side. So you can have a ridiculously big gaming device. Oh! A computer as well. What a mini PC that is. That's so cool. So I'm gonna plug one of these USB-Cs in as my display, and I have another one of these as charging. So this is also a 100-watt charger that I have plugged in on the bottom. Let's turn it on. As always, first thing when you do when setting up a Windows device, Shift and F10. Okay, type in OOBE/bypass NRO. Sorry. OOBE bypass NRO, enter, boom. Because now you don't have to sign up with Microsoft, you just skip all of the Microsoft crap and you can just make a local account. Oh, it's got actually Windows Hello as well for a sign-in. That's pretty cool. Oh man, the camera is bad. The camera is really, really bad. Okay, one of the main things I've already realized is that as cool as the keyboard looks, that trackpad is just a survival skill trackpad, okay? It's very, very bad. There is no middle click, so the clicks are only like kind of on this side. Nothing on the top, nothing in the middle. There's only like right click and then left click. It kind of works like that. So one of the first things I'm gonna do is connect this MX Master to this. That's nice, a lot better. Seems like the scaling is a little bit off to me. By off, I mean just too big. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. It's 2.5K display, which is amazing for that small device. I've made everything quite small here, so it's a little bit better to see, but that looks pretty good here. Actually, what's the frame rate for this? Ooh, 120 Hertz, fantastic. It feels really, really, really smooth. Everything feels very snappy when opening everything up. Oh, take a look at that. When I press this turbo button on the top there, it brings up this performance. How would you want it to be? Okay, right now, boom. Give me 30 watts. I don't care. I just want the max, okay? Fan is automatic right now. Vibration settings. Oh, that's, I guess, for... Is this some RGB in the back? Oh yeah, look at that. There's a little RGB in the back there. That's pretty cool. RGB effect, you can change it in here. What do we want? Dreamy. Turbo on, CPU 100. Turbo on. Yeah, let it be on for now. So, look at that. I'm transferring files from this Orico USB 4 device 1.7 gigabytes per second. So the USB ports are super fast. That's why you have USB 4. One of the interesting things that I've found when setting up this device is I realized that it's got 32 gigs of RAM, but the RAM is running 8,000 mega transfers per second. That is super fast. For this Ryzen AI 9 HX370, I haven't seen that device with that fast RAM. So they have somehow overclocked the RAM. The Asus ProArt P16, 7,200 mega transfers per second. The fastest I've seen this is 7,500. Is 7,500 mega transfers per second. So this here is super, super fast. So this CPU is actually a 12-core CPU. It's not ARM or anything. It's literally x86, and it's running this here, which is pretty impressive. I'm doing a bunch of stuff here. I've got all sorts of things plugged in, and I've got about 78% battery remaining with 1 hour, 29 minutes. Okay, welcome back. So we've done some tests on this over the weekend, and I updated everything, make sure that all the drivers and things are up to date. I ran some creative benchmarks in here. Firstly, the video editing, Premiere Pro, which I'll dive into in a little bit, but we've got the AI 9 HX370 in here. Like, how good is this? The overall score here, we got 3,167 as the standard score. The thing is, the long GOP score, 53.4, is actually faster than the M4, Apple M4. Okay, so if you're working with H.264 or 5 codecs, this guy is better at doing that. Now, at the same time, interframe is slightly slower. So if you're working with ProRes, this is a little bit slower. The raw score compared to the M4 is half as good. On the M4, we're getting 80 something points for the raw standard score, and the GPU score here is basically 10, and on the M4, we're getting about 16 for this. So the M4 is better. Overall standard score is actually roughly a little bit better on this one because of the H.264 or 5. But at the same time, who's going to be editing RAW on this, you know? And the GPU, interestingly, is not as powerful as I would have expected compared to the M4. So Photoshop score here is actually pretty good. Now, if you're doing any Photoshop work on this, you're going to be absolutely fine. Any Lightroom or this photo editing in Photoshop is going to be absolutely amazing. These scores are pretty good. Let's take a look. How good is the Powerdraw then? What exactly is happening? How much power are we drawing? Let's take a look. Now, I've got the turbo set to 30 watts, so performance all the way there. Fan is automatic, so all the power that we can get, we've got in there. So right now we're about 50 degrees. CPU package, we're pulling only a couple of watts. So as you can see, when we're idling, it's very, very minimal wattage that we're pulling. So let's put the multi-core score on and let's see what happens with our package power. 29, literally 30 watts. There we go. We're maxing at 30 watts. It probably could go even higher. 65, 66 degrees. There's 12 cores doing this right now. 24 threads. That's pretty insane. We got 17,000 points, which is better than the first gen Threadripper with 16 cores and 32 threads. That's absolutely insane that we get this type of performance on a tiny gaming device. It's pretty good in all the power. Bear in mind, the Threadripper was pulling 280 watts. This is pulling 30 and it's capped at that. Let me close this and let me close the actual hardware info. I want to know if we can actually get it slightly higher score than 17,000. Interestingly, slightly slower speed here now, just under 17,000. So why is that? This is probably because the temperature was getting higher. So let me do it one more time. Now when the fans are getting kicked in, let's see if it does it even better or worse now. The fans are a little bit more louder. So don't turn the fans down. Come on. See, interestingly, now we got about the same score, 17,000 points. That is very, very impressive. On a tiny tablet like that, the CPU power is literally ridiculous. Absolutely insane. So let's test some video editing. Can you actually do some video editing with this? Let's see. I'm going to adjust the RAM that it can reserve for other applications to 3 gigabytes rather than 6. So we can really see what's going on in here. So this is just a normal timeline. So this is with a color grade, 30 frames per second. Let me press play. It's dropping some frames. Interestingly, look at that. The video processor is like not entirely on here. As we're doing this, doesn't quite play back. Let's take the color grade off. Let's see if we're playing this back now. Yeah, no problem now. Just completely fine. So the GPU power is not as powerful as I would have thought. Scrolling through this H.264, 10-bit footage, full resolution, 5. Absolutely fine. This is 60 frames per second, 420. Again, 60 frames per second, full resolution. So if you want to do some video editing, it's not bad. Scrubbing, not entirely okay. This is H.264, so this is quite heavy on the CPU. As you can see, we're using like almost 90% of the CPU to play back these 60 frames per second, 4K, full frame, RAW, C200 RAW, kind of okay. Okay, so this is pretty hard codec actually. Let's press play on this. Yeah, as you can see, CPU 100%. This is what you need a dedicated hardware accelerator for, because the likes of Intel Arc or NVIDIA 50 series now support this 10-bit photo to H.265. In here it doesn't, so it's very, very laggy. Can't quite do that. Red, 4K RAW, not bad scrubbing, a bit choppy, but let's press play. Yeah, RAW for some reason can't quite do it. Doesn't like playing it back. Okay, 6K B-RAW. Yeah, actually it does. 6K Red RAW. No, definitely not. So interestingly, if you wanted to, you can do some video editing on this. Even though this is not what it's for, and this is meant for gaming, you know, there are some gaming reviews out there. If you want to check it out, I'll leave it in the description below. As a creator, you can do some stuff with it. Let's say you recorded some of the gameplay on this, editing this afterwards. It's completely doable, completely possible. And I can't believe how fast the RAM is. 8,000 megahertz. That's the fastest I've ever seen. Even the specs say 7,500 mega transfers per second. 8,000 here. What's actually happening? That's really, really cool. Here we are in the BIOS. Okay, unfortunately it doesn't record for me. In BIOS we can actually lower the RAM speed if wanted to, but we'll leave it at auto, which takes us to 8,000. PCIe resizable bar support. I don't know how that works because there is no PCIe in here. Not much to do in this BIOS. Well, hello there. This is what the camera looks like. I have a feeling it's not very good. The light adjustments are very slow and not very nice. The good sides about the device now. Very interesting device for gaming. I know this is particularly, but because it's got very powerful CPU, you can do a lot of other things with it as well, especially CPU heavy things. Photo editing, completely fine. I was super happy with that. Video editing, basic video editing, yeah, no problem. Now, I understand that people are not going to get this for video editing. They're probably going to get this for gaming. So yeah, you can do gaming with it. And if you look at the screen resolution, that 120 Hertz is really, really nice and smooth display. It's touchscreen, you can move it around like that. The specs are really, really good. It's a really powerful device. Do I know if this is any good for gaming? I've got no idea. That's not what I do on this channel. If you want to check it out, links in the description below. And if you want to pick this up, I'll leave the link in there as well. I'm pretty excited to see this. Now, the interesting thing would be if you connected external NVIDIA GPU with it, Oculink or USB 4, which you've got 2 of them. I wish you could have a dock like that, connect an NVIDIA card in there, and then this could be very, very interesting. Links below. Bye-bye.